Hey, so these are just some of my freeze-dried kefir grains, and there's a bunch of powder in there because when I went to freeze dry them, it was just a huge glob and we needed it not to be a huge glob, and I didn't know better. So then I just started cutting up the grains. I just cut them up into sections, and then we freeze dried it, and ultimately I made a bunch of powder from it. So moving forward, now that I understand that, I'll freeze dry them a little differently. But if you were to eat the grains freeze dried, it really is like if you know the chip Pirate's Booty, it's a real flavorful, got a crunch to it, but it's kind of like a chip flavor. And then when I reconstitute them and get them going, initially the first few times, it has a real cheesy flavor to it. Actually, I really like it. It's really good. So anyway, freeze-dried kefir grains work. I mean, these things are almost bulletproof, I guess. But if freeze drying works, I'm assuming dehydration works, because freeze drying is freeze it, thaw it, freeze it, thaw it, freeze it, thaw it, to get all the moisture out of it. And anyway, just for what it's worth, one more thing kefir grains can do. Okay, so this is my experimental freeze-dried kefir grains. They're in here. We're gonna process this. It seems about right, but when I dealt with it before, it does kind of take a second to kind of cycle through, maybe. The flavor also is really unique in the beginning, and then it kind of goes to more of a normal, if you can call it normal, flavor. So then I'm just mixing this around. Let's get down to where the grains are, take a look at them. So this was just an experiment that I had because I had so many kefir grains, and honestly, I didn't know what I was doing with them. I just froze them in Ziploc bags, didn't put any milk with them, threw them into the freezer. They were there for probably 3 months or better. And then I pulled them out, and my neighbor had a freeze dryer, and so we freeze dried them. And there's the grains. And I'll put up a picture of what the freeze-dried grains look like, but those look relatively normal. Again, I hate to use the word normal, but they cycle through. Initially, I've had it come out, and it's just really a unique cheesy flavor, and it was really delicious. But anyway, so this is freeze-dried kefir grains. It works. It makes it a little more economical to ship to people maybe in countries or other places where they can't get kefir grains. It takes a little bit of work, but you can get them reconstituted and working awesome, and they multiply and everything. So anyway, these things are pretty hardy.